sleepy.
Oh, don't worry about that, little baby. That's just the itis.
The what?
The itis. That's what you call it when you get sleepy after a big meal.
The itis.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Nick Davenport, aka Mr. Mental Muscle, and we have another episode today on the Mental Breakdown channel. Now, today is Thanksgiving. Now, if you're a turkey, this is not a good day for you. Not necessarily because that's the primarily food we eat, but not only that, they get a lot of blame for something else. You ever heard of a food coma? Now, turkeys get a lot of flack for this. Now, Thanksgiving can mean a lot of different things to people. I'm not gonna get into the politics of, the first pilgrims and Native Americans, that whole thing, but let's get into the science and psychology. Now, back to a food coma. What exactly is that? It's basically a colloquial term for something called postprandial somnolence. Now, this is just a fancy word to say getting drowsy after you eat. Now, a lot of people blame the turkey for this because you think about it, it's the main part of the meal. Now, it's funny because outside of the turkey, we eat so many other things: pies, cakes, breads, stuffing, cranberry sauce. The list really goes on, but the turkey gets all the blame. Now, this is because something called tryptophan. Now, tryptophan is a amino acid that can be a prelude to the neurotransmitter serotonin. Now, you probably heard this term before, and serotonin affects your mood, your well-being, but it also affects something called melatonin, which makes us get sleepy. So if you take this as a supplement, you understand what melatonin does. Now, if you think about it, if tryptophan is in turkey, tryptophan affects serotonin, serotonin affects melatonin. Turkey makes me sleep. But tryptophan is found in a lot of different poultries and other meats, such as chicken and fish. And the thing is, it's actually lower in turkey than other foods such as chicken and fish. So can you really blame the turkey? No, you actually should blame the refined carbs, the simple carbs that we eat. Now, what's the simple carb? What's a complex carb? So we won't get into the nutritional science of what a simple carb and a complex carb, but put it basic. A simple carb is something like the white breads, sodas, the simple sugars, things like that nature. And the complex carbs are your starches like rice, whole grain bread, things of that nature. Rice and bread do fall under this starch category, but how does it contribute to this problem of the simple carb issue when it comes to getting a food coma? So this is what happens when we eat the more refined breads and grains. They go through a process that removes the more nutrient dense aspect, which is the bran. So there's three parts of it: the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. The bran is the outer shell, that's brown. That's why you see the brown grains or bread or rice, whatever it may be. They remove that part and it only leaves the endosperm and the germ. Now, the germ is more nutrient dense. You're talking about your vitamins, minerals, things of that nature. These are very healthy, help the different functions of the body metabolize and do what it needs to do. Then also you have the endosperm, which is more of the starchy part, which is more caloric as well. So you're pretty much removing the healthier part, the outer layer of the bran, and leaving some of the more caloric dense parts that allows it to last on the shelves longer, and that's typically why they do it. But going back to the problem with, we eat a lot of these because, like I said, you blame the turkey. One, it doesn't have as much tryptophan. Two, it's not made of carbs at all. It's protein and fats. And since it's poultry, it's less fat, more so protein. So can you really blame the turkey? They get a lot of bad rep on this day. I don't know what it is. But anyway, so all in all, if you want to fight a food coma, one, try not to go too ham on the breads. Ham, you see what I did there? I'll get out now. But basically, try not to go too hard on the simple carbs, the refined breads and sugar type substances, and try to eat more of the complex carbs and a little bit more of the healthy fat-based products for satiety to make you more satisfied and full. So also what you can do while you're eating, eat a little bit slower, because all this sugar that's going to your body, the insulin has to make sense of what to do with it. So if you're eating slower, it gives it time to allocate the resources properly. Also, move around a little bit, because exercise or just physical activity takes more energy, so it can utilize some of that sugar. Therefore, the insulin doesn't have as much of a job to do to allocate its resources. So make sure you do these things in consideration. Have fun, eat well with your family, but don't overdo it. Now, what about the other part of the holiday? The original lore of Thanksgiving, the Pilgrims came to Plymouth Rock. They met the natives. They had a feast together. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, however that went down and what it led to is not what we're going to in this story, but being thankful, gratitude. Everyone should be thankful regardless of what day it is. I'm thankful for all the things I've gotten and received in my life. I've been very fortunate to get where I am today, but Do you give gratitude on a regular basis? Because science shows that the brain does very well. Now, we can talk about the more social aspect of it, because if you show more thanks to people around you, it just shows that you're a better person to be around. Talk about agreeableness and personality psychology. And we live in a world we can't be truly alone. Everyone's on this independent, I do my own thing, but we have to work in groups, and we've been like that since the beginning of human history. So this is why gratitude is important, because we are social creatures. We live in societies, we have to interact. But also from a cognitive standpoint, we're rewiring the brain to see things in a more better light, optimism, right? Because a lot of times we are pessimistic, and this is also an evolutionary trait, is because if we have to predict the outcomes, we have to be aware of the negative. But with gratitude, you see the positive outcomes, the positive emotions, and it's reaffirming it. So your brain's default mode is not always going to be the worst. When you show gratitude, be thankful, and consider the things that go right, it allows you to have a better disposition. And in turn, this just makes you feel better. You talk about the stress response, which is a physiological act that makes our body get more alert and active when it's a fight or flight situation. Now, you think about if you're not going through that as much for nonsense things, your body doesn't have to alert itself as much, and the sympathetic nervous system is not going to be going too much. It's going to cause more stress-related issues. So you can see how Thanksgiving is more than just stuffing your faces. It's about having good time with your friends and family, but also not eating too much turkey. Leave them turkeys alone. I'm just playing, guys. Enjoy your turkey. Unless you're a vegan or vegetarian, enjoy your tofu. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm about to get out of here myself. You have a great holiday, whatever you believe in. And as always, get your mind right.